How I found out my mom is actually my grandma. I, 15 male, spend most of my free time with a 93-year-old woman who barely remembers who I am. Her name is Mrs. Durosimi. She sits under this raffia shed at the back of her care home and stares into the distance, talking more to the wind than to me. Sometimes she calls for her long-dead mother. Other times, she accuses the staff of trying to kill her. I sit beside her, getting rained on, listening. Most people my age would think it's weird, but this old woman has shown me more love than anyone else in my life. And here's the plot twist. Until recently, I didn't even know we were related. She's not just some random old lady. She's my great-grandmother. No one told me that. I found out by eavesdropping, because grown-ups suck at whispering when they argue. My supposed mom only brought me to see her once, and that was when she first got admitted into the care home. Apparently someone told her it would be too cruel to let her mother die alone, so she sent me, her own child, to take on that burden instead. That's been the theme of my life lately. Being given responsibilities I never asked for, and truths I never got the chance to process. They say Mrs. Durosimi used to be powerful, a fighter, one of the first women in Nigeria to graduate from university. She led protests during the colonial era, pushed for democracy during the military dictatorship, and headed a news agency that exposed corruption so boldly the government tried to assassinate her. One of those assassination attempts worked, but not on her. They sent a letter bomb to her home, and her husband, my great-grandfather, opened it. Boom, he died. And instead of running, she doubled down. She kept writing, kept publishing, kept fighting. And because of that, her own daughter, my supposed grandma, had to go into hiding because she was being hunted too. That's when the fractures in the family began. Fast forward to the early 2000s. Nigeria's democracy finally arrives, but it's a joke. The same military men just changed clothes and came back as politicians. And the woman who fought her whole life against them, she accepted a political appointment in 2008 from the same people who murdered her husband. That move broke my supposed mom. She says her mother betrayed everything she once stood for, that she sold out, that she let power blind her. And so, to punish her, she cut ties. Cold, complete, final. Until Mrs. Durosimi started to lose her mind. That's when they shipped her to this care home and guilt-tripped my mom into sending someone to keep her company. So here I am. Rain or shine, I sit next to this woman who mutters about enemies and karma and her dead husband punishing her from the grave. She doesn't recognize me. Some days she calls me granddaughter. Some days she calls me the child. Some days she just stares at me, like she sees straight through me. But weirdly, she's the only person in my life who doesn't make me feel invisible. My stepdad, who I thought was my real dad until recently, left after a fight with my mom. He hates me now. I stayed with her instead of going with him. He was the only dad I ever knew, but I guess choosing her made me disposable. My mom, well, she tells me every other night how much better her life would have been if she hadn't gotten pregnant, how I ruined everything for her. She never says it directly, but it's in the words she uses. If only I hadn't opened my legs. If only I'd made a different choice. You're just like your father. She's never told me who my real father is, by the way. Just that I remind her of him when I act stupid. I've been feeling strange lately, like I'm floating through a life I didn't ask for. I get these bursts of energy, racing thoughts, ideas I can't hold on to. I tried writing them down once, thinking maybe I'm a poet or something, but the words came out scrambled. Gibberish. Scribbles that don't make sense. Then the crashes come. That deep sinking feeling in my chest, like I'm drowning from the inside. The only way I know how to make it stop is cutting. I've started letting the blood out, pretending it's water, like I'm draining the drowning. I know that's messed up, but what else am I supposed to do? One day, standing in the rain, I saw Mrs. Durosimi whispering to herself. Her carers were exhausted, asking me to convince her to come inside. She refused to move, said she wasn't going anywhere until her granddaughter was released. That's when I learned the full truth. In 2011, another government scandal broke. Millions of dollars stolen. To avoid political backlash, they needed a scapegoat. Guess who they picked? Mrs. Durosimi. She was told to take the fall, and to make sure she did, they kidnapped her granddaughter, my mother, who was pregnant at the time, with me. I will find that out later. They kept her hidden for months. Mrs. Durosimi gave up everything, money, status, reputation, to protect her. But it didn't matter. My mom went into premature labor. She died. I was the only one who made it out alive. For years, my great-grandmother blamed herself for dragging her family into her war, for choosing the country over her daughter, for losing her husband, her child, and nearly her great-grandchild. So she gave away everything she had. What little was left, she left for my supposed mom, my actual grandmom. Then she disappeared into a church, living quietly until her memory began to fade. Now she sits here, most days silent, some days crying, always waiting. She asked me once, "Where is my granddaughter?" I smiled and said, "I'm here." She looked at me confused. "You're a boy." "Grandson," I corrected gently. "But yeah, I'm here." That felt like a sin. My supposed mom told me never to call her my grandma. "She's nothing to you," she said. "Don't forget that." But I can't, because when I sit next to her in the rain, I don't feel forgotten. I feel seen. She's the only one who doesn't blame me for existing. And I guess that's why I'm writing this. Not for karma, not for pity, just to feel heard, even if it's by strangers, because I'm tired of drowning in silence. God, I know you're out there. Please help me. If you like stories like this, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.